starts on just high trim, or you just
yeah, high trim.
Drop some in there and then kick it, and it will hold it in place, and kind of pay attention to where it's at so you know.
Okay. It's like when you go to like Disneyland and you see the husband and the wife and they're both wearing the same clothes, the same shirt. Something wrong there. Okay, I'd like to thank all you guys for coming to our Victor Valley Fall Warbird Classic. Looks like we got a lot of different cities represented here. That's just always makes for a great day of racing. How many guys do we have here that haven't raced Warbirds before? Do we have anyone that this is your first Warbird race? All right. Well, we'll try to cover all the rules here so you know what's going on. First of all, let me point out this line on the ground here. This is our pilot's line. During the competition, anyone on this side of the line must be wearing a hard hat. If you don't have a hard hat, we may have some here that we can help you out with. But you must be wearing a hard hat if you're anyone past this line. Photographers, callers, workers, anyone. Everyone behind the line can be without them, but if you're on this side of it during the contest, please make sure you have your hard hat on. We're not trying to scare anyone, but we do care about safety, and once the racing starts, there's always a chance of a mid-air or something and a plane ended up coming into the pit, so we just want to make sure everyone's protected. We're going to fly today, we're going to fly 10 heats. The heats will begin with a 90-second countdown in order for you to get your plane started. The flagman will ask you to give him a wiggle. That's to make sure that your plane's responding to your transmitter and somebody doesn't carry out a plane and try to release it. It's not responding. Once he sees that all 4 planes have got given a wiggle, he's going to say start your engines. You have 90 seconds. Get your engine started, take off. Try your best to get started during that time. If for some reason you are having trouble and you can't, there will be a 45-second 45-second countdown that'll be audible. It'll count down starting at 45 every 5 seconds until it gets to 10. If you've been having trouble getting your plane started, you will be allowed to launch during that first portion of that. But once the 10-second countdown starts, we're going to ask you to not launch. Because we don't want people running around with their airplane with the engine running, trying to get started and do something stupid. We don't seem to have any wind today, so that's a beautiful thing. And you can launch in either direction. Once the wind comes up, if it does, we'd like you to launch into the wind. Try to carry your plane past the end of the last pilot to launch, so that if your plane takes a left turn or something, it's not going to veer in and hit somebody. But like I said, you can launch in whichever direction you want, but that will be controlled by the flagman. So we want you to look to the flagman to get okay before you take off. All right, so once you've taken off, the audible countdown will come down to 0. At the time of 0, you must be to the left of the start-finish line, which is designated by that cone and that pole out there. That's our start-finish line. You need to be to the left of that or you'll jump the start. Now, we used to disqualify you for jumping the start, but we're trying something different. If you do happen to jump, continue on, you're going to fly 11 laps. The timer will keep track of that. The flagman will come and notify you. You jump the start. Just know you're going to need to fly 11 laps. Make sure they're all good 11 laps, no cuts, because the pylon judges will be watching and counting cuts. Okay, we'd like for you to keep your planes above the top of the pylons. If you droop down, the flagman's going to tell you keep your plane up. If you do it consistently, they're going to DQ you. So once you get a warning to keep above the pylons, please do your best to do that. We do count cuts. First cut will drop you down to 1 point. Second cut will give you 0 points for that heat. So do your best to go past the pylon on each end. You don't have to go around it. Slices are allowed, but we recommend that you do your best to go around it so you're not creating a head-on situation with you going one direction while the other plane's going the other. So do your best to go around the pylon. There will be pylon workers on each pylon calling the cuts. If you get called for a cut, that's the end of that. There's no argument, no debate about it. The pylon judges are doing their very best. They're all volunteers, and we're not going to put them through some kind of big argument. So if you get called for a cut, just accept it. And I know most of you are just great sportsmen anyway, so we won't have a problem with that. But just so you know, at the end of the 10 laps, you'll be the flagman will move the green flag, designating the end of the race. Please keep your eye. There's also a display over here. You can see it, so you can keep track of what lap you're on. So anyway, you're going to be, that'll be the end of the race. We'd like for everyone to try to land in the order that they finish, but the flagman will have control over that. But we're going to try to do it landing in the order that you finished. That saves a lot of confusion, saves guys trying to come in at the same time as someone else. But yeah, John Reed here will be working as flagman for the most part of the race, except at the heats that he's flying in. Yeah, he may be losing. You just never know in this. Everyone has an equal chance. But anyway, yes, please refer to the flagman for landing and takeoffs, and he'll be controlling that. Like I said, if you jump the start, you need to go 11 laps. Don't stop early, or you'll get a 0. But we think that works out better, and it saves us having people making dangerous turns here at the beginning, trying to loop around to get back. And speaking of loops, cannot do any loops. There's no aerobatics allowed during the contest. No victory rolls. If you're going to be doing stuff like that, you're going to end up getting DQ'd. Also, if you fly over the runway, the far edge of the runway is the deadline. If you come this side of that, you're going to give a warning. They're going to yell out, "Watch the deadline." The second warning, you're going to get a DQ for that heat. If you fly over the pits, which is this side for the pilots this way, it's an automatic DQ for that heat. And if you continue to do it, we're going to ask you to stop flying because obviously you're having a problem controlling your plane. So we want to keep safety in mind at all times. If there's a midair, both pilots are going to be asked to land. The flagman will come to you and say, "Land your plane," if it's still flying. Because we don't know how much damage is done during the midair, and we don't want to take a chance on the plane coming apart when it's in a bad spot and end up flying into the pits or hurting someone. So even if it feels like your plane's okay to fly, you're going to be asked to land, and then you're also going to be asked to show that your plane's airworthy before you're allowed to use it again during the race. As far as backup planes, you're allowed to use backups. Make sure that they were inspected prior to the race today, or if you haven't had it inspected, make sure that it gets inspected before you enter it back into the race. I can't think of anything else. You guys think of anything that I've missed?
Just that if you jump. You're gonna hear it burning all day.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yeah, but I get a brag when you broke out. I think I took first.
What a dummy.
Hey, you got the igniter still on.
I know. Okay, so is it Lopez?
Yeah. Hey, ran pretty good, huh?
Try it again.
Yeah. You could be disqualified. You know? I don't know.
Hey, maybe I better leave it on the next one.
Mix it up to try to get.
That's my five covers. Take that off. Hey, nobody sees that. Yeah, what kind of color are you? Hey, he's blaming me. He's blaming me. I shut it off. Back in.
You need a wiggle?
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, start him up.
Pilots, you are on the clock. You have 45 seconds. 35. 25. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
'em.
Okay, guys. First of all, just like to thank everyone for showing up and doing such a great job of flying. And of course, we always have a great sportsmanship during the day, and this was no exception. I'd like to give a big thanks to the course workers who donated their time today. They did such a good job. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. In the bronze class, all the way from Tucson, Arizona. Oops. Third place, all the way from St. George, Utah. Chris Gans.
He's running.
See, I gave you warning. You should have come over.
Yes, sir.
In second place, from right here in Victorville, his first Warbird race with us, John Reed. And thanks, John, for doing such a great job as flagman all day.
Oh, thank Dan. Dan, too. He helped out.
Thank you. Yeah, big thanks to Dan Eaglehop for also helping out with the flagman duties. Now, first place in bronze from Tucson, Arizona, John Gonzalez.
Nice job again, Terry. Thank you.
Okay, now to silver. Third place in silver on his first Warbird race from Victorville, California, Clive Miller. He just had to come and show us YS guys that Aceto could run good too. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you.
In silver, all the way from Tucson, Arizona, Steve Stewart. Second place. Thank you, Steve. Yeah. And in first place, I think he must be from, I don't know where he's from Chino Valley, I believe, Jack Hinkle. Of Speed World.
Which part of the world is that? Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. And then in gold, we only had 2 guys for gold show up for gold this, but I was sure glad they did. It's always exciting to watch. From St. George, Utah, second place, Marty Flood. You're not St. George? He's from Beaver, I'm sorry. Good job, Marty.
I'd like to thank Tony Lopez for letting me come out and play. Thanks, Tony. Anytime.
And in first place from Phoenix, Arizona, Tony Lopez.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Great job.
Thank you. Thank the workers.
Just another thanks to everybody for showing up. I would like to give Marty Flood a couple minutes just to kind of pitch his race next month. He's got a giant scale race coming up here in Apple Valley at Rabbit Lake, and he's going to need course workers. So I'm just going to give him a couple of minutes here to give you a pitch.
Thank you. Thank you, Terry. This will be our 3rd year at Rabbit, and probably going to be the last year here. But we need 17 course workers. We have a handful already, but for the incentive, Horizon Hobbies offers $4,000 of their money, which is equivalent to about $20,000 on the street of worker prizes, where everybody that works gets their name. Every day you work, you get a ticket. It goes in the raffle, and you get drawn. And they're ready to fly type airplanes, DX-8. They have an AR-9000 receiver. Everything's a couple $100. It's well worth it. Lunches are free. Your lunch is bought and paid for each day that you're there. And we really, as you know, we can't do a race without having course workers. So we have to have 17. Right now we've got about 6. So we're really desperate to try to find course workers from around. If you can come out, it's October, I think, 26th, 7th, and 8th. That last weekend, you have to be there on Friday morning, right about 8 o'clock for a real brief. It's real easy. 5 on each pylon and 5 in the center. And it's simple to do, and we take care of you pretty good. You don't even have to bring water or chairs or an awning. Everything's out there. All you really have to do is just show up and push a pickle for about 6 hours a day. And so if you guys can be there, if you just come out and spectate, help us spread the word. It's our 3rd year out at Rabbit, so we have about 60 entries, and planes are about 240 miles an hour. The Unlimited is there cooking, so it's really, really spectacular to watch. So I encourage you to come out and check that out if you can. Thank you, Terry, for letting me share that. Appreciate it.